Hello, my name is Callum, also known as Wanderloots, and welcome to Recalibrating. This is the ninth entry of Recalibrating, entitled Mental Safety from Anxiety Learning to Live with AI. This entry was originally published on August 18th, 2023. Learning to Live with AI. Continuing on Maslow's hierarchy level 2 with financial security and mental safety from entries 6 to 8, this week I am going to touch on artificial intelligence, AI. This topic is massive. It's hard to emphasize how much detail and research goes into truly understanding AI. I have been researching AI for many years, much more seriously since 2020. I still feel as though I am barely scratching the surface. But that's okay. Understanding even some of the basics can provide a solid foundation for understanding the current and future impact of AI. Before we get to the stage of using AI to bolster financial security through future proofing and automation, let's take a few minutes to address the mental safety component. The goal of this entry is not to teach you everything about AI, that would be impossible. The goal is to identify a few concepts that will hopefully teach you about why AI is in the news so much lately and over the last few years, and to help alleviate the AI anxiety that comes from public mass hysteria over change. Much of this anxiety arises from trying to deal with the uncertainty of AI. Prior to the hype in the news, AI was an unknown unknown to many people, something that operated in the background that most people were unaware of. With the publicity over the last few years, AI has now moved into a known unknown for many people. They recognize that AI exists and is having an impact on the world around them, but they do not understand why or what it is. There is an inability to understand the paradigm shift that is occurring from a lack of knowledge. Let's change that. Note, this entry will touch on a few topics related to AI. As mentioned in entry number 7, there's now a fork in the road of recalibrating. I will continue this discussion behind a subscription paywall, including generating specific guides on how I am building my second brain as a way to future proof myself by collaborating with and protecting against AI. This newsletter and other creations have become my primary source of income. If you find value in this newsletter, I would greatly appreciate the support of a subscription so that I can continue to share more about what I'm learning and how I can help you. AI anxiety. Are you feeling worried or anxious about how AI can affect your career, your privacy? Are you uncertain about whether what you are seeing online is real, human made, or AI generated? You are not alone. You might have AI anxiety. What is AI anxiety? This is unease about the overarching ramifications of AI on human creativity and ingenuity. There's a sense of foreboding as to whether or not what you're seeing is being created by a human or machine. The unease and sense of foreboding are both related to a single anxiety inducing issue: uncertainty. Fear of the unknown is one of our most primal human fears, sometimes referred to as the one fear to rule them all. No wonder AI has been so stressful. It is full of uncertainty in so many ways. Will AI replace my job? Financial insecurity. Is democracy still a valid political system? Political insecurity. Is what I'm looking at real or AI generated? A lack of truth. Is who I am talking with online a person or AI? Fear of being misled. Are there going to be battle robots fighting wars in the future? A genuine issue. Much like the limitless uncertainty, there is no end to why people are experiencing stress about AI. Each person is going to experience different issues and different stresses related to AI, and that's okay. The goal here is to identify some overarching ways that people can reduce their AI anxiety. How to reduce anxiety from AI, also known as AI-nxiety. Taking a break. With bottomless rabbit holes available to deep dive into AI research, sometimes the best way to cope with anxiety is to take a break. Disconnect from the online world a bit. Go touch some grass. The research will be there whenever you are ready. You do not need to FOMO, fear of missing out, that you are going to fall behind if you take a few days or weeks off. Rest is okay and encouraged. That said, there is value for people who think for a living, especially creators and knowledge workers, to learn about advancements in AI and how they can leverage these tools to stay ahead of the curve and increase the security of their jobs. In other words, undergo AI learning to future proof yourself. Learning. The best way, in my experience, to deal with AI anxiety is to convert known unknowns into a known known. Instead of panicking over, AI is going to take my job and I'm going to lose my financial security, we can take the time to learn what AI is, how it is currently being used, and how best to future proof ourselves in an ever changing world. For example, AI has been used for years as part of the Duolingo app to help people learn languages. Siri, Alexa, and other smartphone voice assistants make use of AI to translate voice to text and conduct searches online. Tesla uses AI for vision recognition and vehicle control for autonomous steering. There are many, many ways that AI has been used for years without you even thinking about it. When you look at it in this light, the light of our past and common use of AI, artificial intelligence starts to become less scary and more manageable. Let's take a deeper look. What is artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence, AI, refers to the simulation of human intelligence in machines that are capable of performing tasks that typically require human intelligence. These tasks include problem solving, decision making, language understanding, and much more. AI systems use data and algorithms to mimic human cognitive functions, enabling them to learn from experience and improve over time. Types of AI. There are two main types of AI: narrow AI and general AI. Narrow AI is designed and trained for a specific task. It excels at performing that particular task, but it lacks the ability to generalize its knowledge to other areas. Examples include virtual personal assistants like Siri and recommendation systems as algorithms on streaming platforms. General AI is a more advanced form of AI that can understand, learn, and apply knowledge across a wide range of tasks, similar to human intelligence. However, true general AI, or artificial general intelligence, AGI, is still largely theoretical and hasn't been achieved yet. Let's take a look at ChatGPT. What is ChatGPT? ChatGPT is powered by a cutting edge AI language model called a large language model. An LLM, large language model, is a program designed to understand and generate human like text. It achieves this by leveraging complex algorithms and patterns learned from vast amounts of text data. ChatGPT is built upon foundation models like GPT-3, which stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer 3. These models are initially trained on a diverse range of text, which enables them to respond coherently and contextually. Note: ChatGPT and other large language models now are multimodal, which means that they're able to receive and be trained on more modes of inputs, like video, photos, images, voice, music, and any other type of data input. I touch more on this in a later entry, so for now let's stick with the basics, which is the original model that was trained on text. But more simply, LLMs are in the business of finding the next set of words that are maximally coherent with the words that came before it. Its outputs should make sense to the user. What's so startling about recent LLMs like GPT-4 is that they can make sense without knowing what they're saying. An LLM doesn't understand its outputs. It doesn't grasp the meanings of words. It's a surprisingly successful, though far from perfect, next word predictor. Natural language processing, NLP, and prompting. ChatGPT is part of the field of natural language processing, NLP, which focuses on enabling computers to understand, interpret, and generate human language. In the context of ChatGPT, users communicate with the model through prompts. Prompts are input instructions or questions given to the model. Based on the provided prompt and its learned knowledge, ChatGPT generates text in response. Crafting clear and specific prompts is crucial to obtaining accurate and relevant responses from the model. For example, this section, What is AI? What is ChatGPT? Was actually written by ChatGPT, except for the quote I included on LLMs. To get ChatGPT to write this section for me, I used this prompt. I am writing a newsletter educating people about AI and how to future proof themselves. I assume that most people have heard of ChatGPT but do not know anything about it. The language should be SEO optimized and should be as concise as possible. I would like you to write this section of the newsletter with the following headings: What is artificial intelligence? Definition. Types of AI. What is ChatGPT? LLM and foundation models, NLP and prompting. That just goes to show that it's hard to tell whether what you're reading is coming from artificial intelligence or from a human. The rest of this newsletter and all of my other newsletters have been entirely written by me. The point of using ChatGPT to write this section was to illustrate how it can be used to save time, explaining facts about AI, and also demonstrate how confusing it can be to try and differentiate between human words and AI words. Why should I care about AI? Now that you understand more of the basics of AI, at least the publicly hyped portions, let's consider why you should care to continue learning more about this disruptive technology. Future proofing yourself. For the first time ever, we are starting to see the replacement of tasks done by thinkers rather than doers. It is important to recognize that, at least at this point, the AI systems being developed are not at a stage where they can fully replace most workers. Instead, these AI systems are replacing tasks that workers do, not their entire jobs. How long will this distinction remain true? The annoying answer? It depends. Quote, AI won't take your job, but someone who knows how to use AI might, end quote, is a fairly common saying that has been going around for the last 6 months or so, or the last year and a bit. The reason my answer to the above question is it depends is based on this concept that jobs are going to continue to adapt and change to leverage AI. People who learn to use AI to improve their productivity, efficiency, and quality of work will be able to stay ahead of those who do not. The types of AI skills needed to stay ahead of the curve is going to vary with almost every job type. The variation is part of the reason for AI anxiety. There's so much uncertainty about who will be affected and how. The best way to deal with this uncertainty is to make it more certain. Learn about what is happening in your industry and how you can leverage AI to improve your own experience. By learning how your specialized skill sets are adapting to account for AI, you can keep up with new skills that will help you stay relevant for many years to come. Customization versus generalization. Consider what we know about ChatGPT now. It is part of a foundation model that has been trained on the entire internet, or a good chunk of it. That's a lot of data, both good and bad. It's also very general. It's actually a good analogy for how knowledge workers are valued. The more specialized your skill set, the more valuable you become as a worker. The more generalized your skill set, the more replaceable you are with someone else who has the same general skills. ChatGPT is a bit like the generalist. It's been trained on so much data that the answers it provides are also generic. Of course, better prompting can improve the quality of the output from ChatGPT. This prompting is a result of increased specialized knowledge of learning how to prompt. For example, instead of asking ChatGPT a general question, I can say, you are a lawyer, a patent agent, an engineer, a photographer, a blockchain expert, etc. Based on this information, answer my question in a specialized manner. The output will be much better than the general prompt without these limitations. The more you learn how to prompt with ChatGPT and other natural language processing based models, the more effectively you will be able to leverage AI in your life. OpenAI, the creator of ChatGPT, has recognized this fact and has actually updated ChatGPT to have a custom instruction section that can factor out some of my common prompt limitations, like my skill sets, so that the AI response is more customized to me as an individual. These custom prompting instructions can save you time and energy when asking ChatGPT questions. Note, ChatGPT now also has a memory system. When you type in certain types of prompts or give a certain type of response, ChatGPT will acknowledge that you've been asking or framing your questions in a certain way and will remember how you like to have your questions answered. This can help speed up the amount of time it takes to actually get to the core of your answer that you were looking for with why you went to go talk to ChatGPT in the first place. You can clear these memories at any time and you can customize them as well. Geoffrey Hinton's commentary in Toronto, 2023. I was going to write up a full section on all of the reasons why you should care about AI, but it began to be too daunting of a task. Instead, I'll take a clip from one of the world's leading experts on AI who spoke in Canada recently. Geoffrey Hinton, or the godfather of AI, spoke at the Collision 2023 Tech Conference and gave an excellent overview on where we are at with AI. Famously, Hinton resigned from Google to be able to speak more openly about AI and the current concerns. The talk's about 20 minutes long. I've embedded the video to start at Geoffrey Hinton's interview, so you don't need to watch or listen to the entire video, which is about 7 hours long. I suggest watching or listening to the video to get a high level overview on the main concerns with AI. The goal of this interview is not to make people panic, but to increase awareness over what goes into AI and how we can leverage it to build a better future while avoiding a dystopian one. If you're interested in listening or watching this AI video by Geoffrey Hinton, I have a link included in my website, which will be linked below. The issues Jeffrey Hinton lists in the video are not to be taken lightly. They are also not intended to evoke fear, but rather to inspire people to learn to keep up with the changes that are happening in our lifetime so that we can continue to build a better world together. If you're interested in learning more about fake news, one of the topics that Jeffrey Hinton talks about, and its impact on our democracy, I actually wrote a paper back in law school in 2018 on this topic that you might find interesting. The title Is Blockchain the Answer to Fake News? Which is linked on my website. Where is AI headed? Building for the future. The more you learn about how to use AI in your life, the more you will be able to adapt with AI as it develops over the coming years. The internet is developing to become more semantic, language, and logic based. This semantic web will make it easier for humans and machines, including AI, to communicate, thereby improving how we interface with the internet. Understanding prompting, using your own language as an input for AI, will be a very valuable skill moving forward. Knowledge graphs power many semantic search sites and are becoming more popular. Google has been using them for years. Knowledge graphs are a network of connected data points that enable deeper understanding of the information provided. You are already familiar with the display of knowledge graphs. When you search for a restaurant, person, book, event, etc., the display of the location, details, images, videos, and more is pulled from a knowledge graph for that search result. It's a way to display many related pieces of information connected through semantics. Remember, this semantic web powered by knowledge graphs is something that is already happening. It's not something to fear. Instead, these technologies can encourage you to create your own specialized version of knowledge that will help you communicate with yourself and others, including AI, rather than dealing with the generalized versions shared online. This specialized version of your own database can form intellectual property that is extremely valuable for creators and knowledge workers. As this intellectual property is captured and organized in a knowledge graph, a second brain, or digital collection of knowledge, can be created. I've included a graphic of a time lapse of my knowledge graph from my first few weeks of building my second brain. Initially, you can see that there's only one or two nodes or dots of information, but over time, I'm able to link these pieces of information together and build out a web of thinking. I can actually connect the dots between my thoughts, and I can build out my own understanding of the related information that I've put into my second brain. This knowledge graph is extremely versatile and can be customized in many ways. By clicking on a circle or a node made of a single note, I can follow an edge, which is a connecting line to related nodes that share similar topics. My system also involves using color as a way to help identify connections, which is shown on the entry on my website. AI will provide a valuable tool to be able to interface with our second brains to gather insights about the knowledge we have accumulated that we may have missed out on our own. If you're interested in learning more about the creation of a second brain and how to leverage AI to build your personal brand while improving your productivity, efficiency, and learning, I will be writing more about this building process for paid subscribers. I already have a lot of information on how to leverage AI and second brains on my website, but I provide more direct and specific step by step instructions for people who are part of my paid subscribers. Researching creation systems and emerging technologies takes a lot of time and is now my full time job. Paying for a subscription helps me to continue creating valuable content for your education, so I appreciate any support you can give. Note that I also have a Hypersub, which is a Web3 or blockchain version of Patreon. Hypersub gives you access to an exclusive group chat where people can ask me questions about building their second brains or anything related to my areas of expertise, including intellectual property, artificial intelligence, and anything to do with the creator economy. Next week, automation and the creator economy. I hope that this overview helps to alleviate your concerns and anxiety over AI. While it is a disruptive technology, it is one that everyone can learn to leverage to improve the quality of their lives. In particular, AI is an excellent task automator, a topic we will get into next week. The creator economy is built by creators and knowledge workers spending many hours performing tedious and time consuming tasks. I'm excited to get into how AI can help give us some of our time back. Stay tuned. P.S. If you would like to see a historical record of my AI knowledge accumulation, you can go check out my Flipboard magazine called AI Learning that goes back for over 4 years. Thanks for listening to this episode of Recalibrating. I hope that you found this information helpful and that you feel as though your AI anxiety has been reduced. I'm hoping that by providing knowledge, people will be less afraid of how to use AI and how to build moving forward in this ever changing world. If you found this entry helpful, I would love if you would consider subscribing to my newsletter and podcast. Creating this content is now my full time job, so your support means a lot. If you found it helpful, I would also love if you would consider sharing this with a friend. Word of mouth is by far the best way for me to continue building out my brand and help other people like I have hopefully helped you. Thanks again for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.